TANK Zyra support. A normally high damage zone control mage who excels at making picks is now being played as a defensive healer who doesn't allow her allies to die and baits enemies in only for them to realise that they aren't strong enough to kill you in a single rotation. Some of the best Zyra players in the world use this secret build which makes her unkillable. Not only does this build excel at keeping your team alive, it still provides the strength that Zyra has early game as well as her vision control later on. At the start of the season, I did not have the best luck when it came to my placement games, ending with a subpar win rate and being placed in gold. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get anywhere higher. It wasn't until someone on the Zyra Discord suggested Radiant Virtue and sent a profile link to one of the best Zyras in the world who one-tricks TANK Zyra that I began to have success, and the results of that? Over a 70% win rate. The first diversion from a normal Zyra build is that you start off with Relic Shield instead of Spell Thieves. This allows you to gain priority of the wave and gives you plenty of health and health regen to work with. Using Relic Shield, fast shove in the second wave executing 2 melee minions. As you are a ranged champ with an execute, you should gain a level advantage and look to engage on them. Taking E at level 1 and W at level 2, you'd look for a route using the EW combo to spawn plants during the E startup animation, which can give up to a 60% slow. I take Q at level 3 and my full poke kit is unlocked, being able to QW to harass the enemy where possible. The rest of the lane plays fairly typical to a regular Zyra, with you poking with QW and looking for engagers / disengagers with EW. On your first back, you grab either boots or cloth armors / ruby crystals. Even with just an additional 15 armor, you'd become so much tankier and the enemy ADC won't expect how little damage they do to you. I mean, look at this situation where I only have components but I still tank everything for Kai'Sa. This means she can just auto and do massive damage and she gets free kills. The enemy doesn't expect you to be so tanky because you're playing a mage. Why would you have 100 armor? This surprise tactic just makes it so that you can win fights where perhaps maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. Slowly build into tankier items with Radiant Virtue as your core. Once you have this, you grant tons of healing to all nearby allies during a teamfight when you cast your ultimate, which is an already fight changing ability. You can use your ult both offensively to extend CC on a priority target or as a defensive peeling tool for your carries. It doesn't matter you trade off some damage for a massive heal, as you still do plenty of damage and you grant lots of utility with slows on your plants. You can also look to be bait, encouraging your enemies to use their important abilities on you, only for you not to die and having them killed in return. Take this situation with me alone at mid with Jinx and Elise coming up to me. Ashe and Jhin both use their CC on me and Udyr goes into tower range, which allows my team to come in, following up without me dying, resulting in a 3-for-0. Overall, you're just super tanky and the enemy has to spend more resources on you compared to what they would have really expected. However, with this build you do trade a lot of damage for more teamfighting capability, so this means you can't catch your enemies off by yourself and burst them, but instead you need to rely on your team, which may be difficult in solo queue. You'll also get flamed a ton, but ranked players should already have developed thick skin, so hopefully this isn't too much of an issue. Alternatively, you could always just mute all. And as for the build, well, take Relic Shield at the start. Afterwards, rush Radiant Virtue normally, however you can grab a Warder's Mail first if you're against a lot of AD. Boot choices can be situational, but go for either Resistance Boots or Lucidity depending on what you need. You can buy an Oblivion Orb now, but then build into your next item, which should either be Rylai's Frozen Heart or Abyssal Mask. For the final 2 items, build whatever you didn't build before, and as well as basically anything else. I recommend Wardstone as a cheap power spike which grants bonus health and vision, so it's quite versatile. And as for the runes, you want to run Guardian as it protects your team even further. Your goal is to keep you and your team alive, so these runes help you achieve that. Remember that you can always change out Bone Plating for Gishting or Second Wind when it makes sense, as well as Overgrowth for unflinching against heavy CC teams. And in the end, remember that this is all just a random thing that a mid player has found successful. Standard damage Zyra and even Moonstone Zyra can be acceptable whenever you need it. And as a final thing, just make sure you guys like and subscribe for making it to the end of the video. This one was a fun video to make and it's heavily inspired by Happy Chime Noises if you haven't realised already. Go check out his channel as well.